Comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. I'm murderous. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
Broadcasting live from ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas, while simultaneously broadcasting live on 105.3 FM, The Beat. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here within the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And of course, I'm a member of the local Catholic Christian community. My spiritual advisor, praise the Lord, is here with me. Bradley Roll, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Monker.
Well, there's great joy for me. Papa is back from London. The Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram has returned over the weekend. I saw him for a short, brief period yesterday. Papa is in good shape, but he has adjourned our breakfast meeting to next week. But before I departed breakfast, Papa was extremely upset with the fire in the Haitian mud. Mashaba Abako. So to my people, the Haitian people, the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram is extremely upset. And while he has not confessed it yet to me, I expect that Papa shall be soon flying into Mashaba to visit the mud. Don't forget now, the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram is one of us. Y'all are the Haitian people, and me and Papa, we are Haitian. Well, folks, on Friday, I led the struggle when I declared that the heads of agreement, the signing was fraudulent. But y'all didn't believe me. Now the media went and checked, and they are now discovering that I am a forensic journalist. So today, I'm going to play journalism as I look at the skullduggery that is taking place. My God, when it is all over, this government is going to have to resign. Everybody going to have to resign. Which minister do you think that I shall fire first today? So these are some of the things that is taking place here in the country. And I want you to relax, because today is the 5th of March. And the Ides of March is approaching. Caesar, beware the Ides of March, because Brutus got a knife. And you got so many Brutus in the party. So we're going to have fun today as we look at corruption. And we're going to look at an attempted kidnapping, according to Bahama Press. So it's a lot of things to discuss. It's been a long weekend, but I'll tell you, it's been my best weekend. When I showed up and I saw the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram. Papa, you're right here in time. All kind of fraud taking place, Papa. Fraud, left, right, and center. Papa, help! They're selling out the country, Papa. And it's fraud, fraud, fraud. This is Freedom March. My spiritual advisor, give me a bump. This is powerful. Relax, folks. It's a wonderful day that the Lord has blessed us with. I'll be right back.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. We are simultaneously broadcasting on Radio 105.3 FM, The Beat. My name is Rodney Monker, and I welcome everyone who is tuning in to Freedom March. My spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, is here. Bradley, do you have a wonderful scripture for me?
I don't have any mechanisms with me, so...
Well, in that case, I shall go to my Catholic book celebrating the Eucharist. It's March the 10th, okay? So just bear with me. Have mercy on me, O God, in your goodness, in the greatness of your compassion. Wipe out my offense. Thoroughly wash me from my guilt, and of my sin cleanse me. For you are not pleased with sacrifices. Should I offer a burnt offering that would not accept it? Should I offer a burnt offering, you would not accept it. My sacrifice, O God, is a contrite spirit, a heart contrite and humble. O God, you will not spurn. Be bountiful, O Lord, to Zion in your kindness by rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. Well, that was a nice scripture.
Indeed.
Well, folks, it's been a long weekend, and I welcome each and every one of you. And I'm being flattered as I receive reports all around the world of people who are tuning in to Freedom March. My spiritual advisor, I don't know if you've been hearing any reports, but...
Yeah, but of course, yeah, there were a few Canadian visitors who visited the Bahamas on the weekend. Did recognize me.
Really?
Yeah, they recognized me and they came up to me.
What, they're watching you in Nassau?
Well, they say they're watching you from Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
This is powerful.
They think
Canada.
You do a great job.
I welcome all the Canadian people because we are all a part of the Commonwealth and Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, is the Queen of each individual Commonwealth nation, to the best of my knowledge. So I welcome all the people here. Well, folks, I am so happy when on Sunday I called upon the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram. Papa has returned from London. You would recall about a week ago, I told you that Mr. Ingram was traveling to England because the Commonwealth Secretariat had invited him, along with other leaders from a number of Commonwealth countries, to meet and to put together new rules governing certain types of election. Papa was in good mood, but he deferred yesterday's meeting, and he says that we will get together next week. I was not able to give Papa my report because since Papa left, all sorts of foolishness took place. We'll go into them shortly. However, Papa drew to my attention immediately as I sat at the table. Papa said to me, "What about the fire in the mud?" And Papa was extremely concerned about the fact that it appears that my people, the Haitian people living in the mud, are the victim of what appears, my words, organized arson. And I want you all to know that Papa is very upset. And while he has not confessed it to me, I expect that Papa will soon be journeying to Marsh Harbor, where he's expected to call upon my people, the Haitian people. But boy, Papa was stressed over the fire. I mean, I just felt like touching Papa on the shoulder and saying, Papa, everything is going to be all right. So tout le monde haïtien, samedi passé, moi parlé avec Papa. Papa non. Papa fâché. Papa mandé. Pour qui ça yo boule village haïtien. Okay? So I want you to know that Papa is very concerned about who's burning down our village.
Mr. Monica, it is a concern that should have been raised by both governments for years now, right? So, because here it is, we have immigrants who come to the country, those who have been naturalized, those who have been given work permits, and then they have illegals, right? And they are, for some strange reason, allowed to squat and build these substandard communities, right? Where they have electricity wires running from house to house to house to house, right? Then some of these communities don't have proper running water, all right? They don't have proper garbage collections. And when you look at what the average Bahamian have to go through when they either build a house or build a community, you know, you have to have proper running water, you got to go to BC, pay for your light, the house have to be built at a certain standard, you have to pass certain inspections and all that before you can get electricity, and I think it's unfair. So what needs to happen is these communities now really need to be dealt with properly. They need to be fixed, so these people whoever own these properties or own these communities or own these homes can live in the standard communities that every other Bahamian who is a citizen of the country lives in. I think it's unfair that here it is, I have to live at a particular standard. If my house is not a particular standard, if I'm building a home, I have inspections that I have to pass through the Ministry of Works. If I don't meet a particular inspection, I don't pass, and the state
My
doesn't go forward.
spiritual advisor.
Right? So these communities, I understand.
What you're saying is so noble, but I just came out of being in Grandstown, where the toilets are still outside, in the back of the yard.
Right.
Where people are still going to the backyard.
And all these should be fixed, Mr. Monica.
Yeah.
But if you look at the
But what you're saying,
yeah, but if you
well,
look, you ever seen an aerial view of the mud and see how it looks?
look, man, they're my people.
What I'm saying, just look at it.
I do a
It
mecca there.
looks like a travesty just waiting to happen.
Yeah, but
on
the
the boat,
arson,
but on the boat government,
but the arson must stop.
I understand that.
I want y'all to stop doing that because it is wicked. And those who burn the Haitian shall be cursed. Okay? And those who bless the Haitian shall be blessed. And those who help the Haitian people shall be helped.
Of course.
Okay?
Social
services.
Stop it. Social services, I understand, is assisting those people who have been displaced.
I've lost faith in social service.
But they are assisting.
Well, I thank you, my spiritual advisor. Let me go to Bahama Press as we discuss crime. Bahama Press is reporting that on Sunday, police and some men were in a gun battle near Faith Avenue and the SO on the run. Apparently, according to Bahama Press, a number of Negro men were in the process of kidnapping another Negro man when the police arrived on time and there was a shootout. So Bahama Press reports that one Negro citizen was shot. So that is what is taking place. The crime is still going on, and the police, in this case, was able to save the kidnap. And that's what I want. I want, like, every time there's a crime being planned and being executed, the police shows up right in time, and bam. So that's what's taking place. So I'll leave that alone for now, and I'll go to another topic. Well, on Friday, I revealed to the nation that the heads of agreement, the signing that the Prime Minister laid on the table, apparently Thursday. You would recall that on Monday, the 19th of February, the Cabinet of the Bahamas convened a press conference And at the press conference was a big, fat, white American man by the name of Peter Kruger. Peter Kruger had joined the cabinet to sign a heads of an agreement for some company called Orbans. It turned out that Peter, upon Freedom March leading the rest of the media into conducting a forensic investigation, we discover that Peter Kruger was a fraud and a faker, and we waged a battle against him. The Prime Minister, in defense of this fraudster, revealed that at all material time, as the government negotiated with him and signed the heads of agreement, that the government knew he was a crook. But they felt that this was a crook that they could work with. And the Prime Minister then delayed his promise, which was he signed on the 19th, and on the 21st, the first meeting of the House of Assembly, he would lay the heads of agreement on the table. But the Prime Minister failed to do so. And he convened a cabinet meeting to determine the strategy. See, they can't hide nothing from me. Why? I is an F&M. My spiritual advisor, I need a rhetorical question from you. Ask me, who am I?
Who am I?
Yes.
Who are you, Mr. Moncur?
I is an F&M. I'm financial. And in my case, when I pay my dues, I paid, of course, F&M forever.
I'm hearing some other things now. But anyhow, let's leave that. Go ahead.
Yes. And so, they convened, and the cabinet agreed that they would present the heads of agreement to the Honorable House of Assembly. And they all laugh. They say, we got them. They think Peter Kruger signed, but it ain't Peter Kruger. It's the Indian Mr. Dunn. And so we're going to drop that surprise on us. And would you believe? The Prime Minister lay on the table an agreement. And we were shocked, because they say Kruger didn't sign it, but everybody saw Kruger signing. Now don't forget now, Kruger is a fraudster. He's documented. Well, the row continued, and on Friday I came and I accused the government of fraud. See, I say F&M, and I have good contact in the country. Don't mind they tell you I'm crazy, I have good contact. So I call Negro number 1, the immigration officer, and I asked him to do a check to see if the Indian man Dunn is in the Bahamas. And he informed me, listen, no Dunn came in. I said, he ain't come in. I said, man, check. He said, listen, Moncur, he ain't here. It was then that I knew that a fraud had been committed. Candia, you may not know, Candia admires me. And she watched Freedom March every day. Candia, you're doing a good job, Candia. Oh, Candia, you're doing a good job. I inspired Candia. And she then conducted further investigation. For this investigation, we need to find a award to give to Candia, because this revelation is powerful. And Candia confirms that Kruger, now I pronounce it Kruger, but it's spelled capital K-R-I-E-G-E-R.
Kruger.
That's how you pronounce it.
It's Kruger.
Yes, but capital K-R-I-E-G-E-R, I pronounce it as Kruger. And she revealed Kruger did not sign own name on document. Well, guess what Kruger did? Kruger signed another man's name. You hear me? Dr. Menace is a medical doctor and highly educated. Every member of the cabinet is highly educated. They knew that Dunn was not in the room. They knew that Peter Kruger was the man who was there to sign. Do you believe that every Negro, and Brent Simnett is a Negro, stood there and allowed Peter Kruger to sign somebody else's name? and Camille Johnson, who is the cabinet secretary, who signs on behalf of the government. I am shocked that Camille Johnson would put her signature, recognizing that Peter Kruger did not sign it. She's the first one that must resign. Camille, go, and go now. And I'm going to talk to your brother Dexter. Dexter Johnson, you's my friend. I don't want to curse out your sister. Tell Camille to resign because she is grossly incompetent. She was not supposed to get involved in the politics because she represents the state, the nation of the Bahamas. She signs on behalf of the Bahamas government. And when she saw that signature, she knew that was not Peter Kruger's name. She was supposed to turn and say, Mr. Kruger, you made a mistake. You signed Mr. Dunn's name. And she was supposed to refuse to sign it. And that would have been the end of it. But no, she signed knowing that Peter Kruger is a white man. He's not an Indian. And I can understand her if Peter had Indian paint on his face and maybe some Indian feather in his head. But she signed it. So she's grossly incompetent because that's the person who signs. Secondly, who is the first cabinet minister that must resign after the prime minister? Guess who it is? It's the Minister of Education. My God, Jeffrey Lloyd, you was Minister of Education. You can't read. You can't read. The Minister of Education. All of those Negroes sat around the table. And they mustn't know what an Indian looked like. And they allow a white man to sign the wrong name. And they kept quiet. In fact, Minnis, last week Thursday, thought that he was scoring a political point by announcing that Peter Kruger didn't sign. But immigration told me, listen, ain't no done in Nassau. You hear me? It was fraud. And the government is now a part of a cover-up process. And somebody has to be man enough in the country and say to Minnis, it's time to go. This government must resign. It is gross incompetence. Gross incompetence. And Candy has done a wonderful job. A wonderful job in doing the investigation. I'm coming back to it because there is a cover-up taking place, and this is a case for the corruption unit. Y'all didn't believe me on Friday. Watch out for me, for I am a journalist. I'll be right back as I do forensic journalism, forensic investigation.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. We are also broadcasting on 105.3 FM The Beat. My name is Rodney Monker. My spiritual advisor is Bradley Roll. Bradley, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you, Mr. Monker.
At this point, I want to do a quick shout out. I met two wonderful citizens on Saturday. Mrs. Pauline Davis, not to be confused with the Member of Parliament, Miss Pauline Davis. Pauline Davis and her husband, Mr. Davis, they proclaim that they are faithful watchers of Freedom March and that they are one of the people them. So this is powerful. I salute you and I thank you for watching Freedom March. On Saturday was the birthday of Miss Ann Taylor. She celebrated her birthday, and she is one of the women them. And of course, my first cousin, Mrs. Wall Lewis Sweeting, also celebrated a birthday. So to Miss Taylor and to Mrs. Wall Lewis Sweeting, I wish both of you a belated happy birthday. Well, folks, yes, this morning, well, on Friday, I told you about the fraud that is taking place. There are many people who are concerned when I talk, and they think from time to time that I might not be speaking truth. When Sabat's offered me this job here on Freedom March, I told my wife, and I said to her, "What do you expect of me?" She said to me, "There's one thing that I want you to do for me." She said, "You're free to say anything you want to talk about. Talk anything, but make sure that no one could call you a liar. And if you speak truth, no matter what you say, you have my support and my blessing. And so I have pledged to do everything in my power to speak the truth. And if I find that I say something that was not the truth, I would be more than happy and humble to come back and to correct it." So when I told you that Mr. Dunn, the Indian, was not in the Bahamas, I relied on a confidential immigration source. I'm 61. You think I don't know big people in the country? You think I ain't got a little bit of influence? So I knew that once the immigration told me he was not here, I had the government. The Nassau Guardian have conducted an investigation. Candia, I want to read her article. I want to read it. It's on the front page of the Nassau Guardian. And the story goes like this. It's so important for you to understand that we here, Freedom March, is leading the campaign for better government, for transparency, for accountability. And when you hear me tell you that I am struggling against gangsterism, believe me, because I check. I'm not being irresponsible. I check because I know there will come a day when I may have to put up or shut up. So let's look at what Candia has to say. When non-executive chairman of Urban Energies, Peter Kruger, signed what government officials claim was a heads of agreement on February 19, he did not sign his own signature, but signed what appears to be Satpal Dana, the name of the company's president. Kruger signed on the line provided for Dana's signature. He did not indicate he was signing for Dana, but instead signed what appears to be Dana's name. At no time during the press conference at the office of the Prime Minister was any indication made that Kruger did not actually sign his own name, but signed someone else's name. Zoomed in video footage confirms that it was not in fact his own name that Kruger signed. Stop. When this signature first took place, and when we first exposed Mr. Kruger, and the F&M told us that Mr. Kruger was the ambassador for the company, the first thing I said to them, do you have a power of an attorney from the company authorizing Kruger to sign on their behalf? They played like if they didn't hear what I had to say. But let me tell you what kind of man I am, and I'm humble. Carl Bedell is the Attorney General. And when he had a legal problem, who you think he turned to? He turned to the same grassroots man. And I solved his problem. So I ain't no ordinary Negro man. I'm a grassroots man who understands exactly what is taking place in the country. And I raised the issue. You have a power of attorney from him? Nobody answer it. All right? So let's go a little further. Candia them was videotaping it. And it makes good news to focus on the signature. Now they have the evidence. So they go back. And when they check, Peter Kruger, the fraudster, was signing somebody else's name. Minister them, wipe their mouth, and then tell us, Camille Johnson, the sister of whatever Dr. Johnson name is, she co-signed. That's fraud. That's fraud that took place. This is a case to call in Assistant Commissioner of Police Paul Roth. Because don't forget what Minister say he's fighting. Minister is fighting corruption. Only as it relates to the PLP. But here we have on live TV this man. So everybody's trying to figure out, why did Mr. Kruger sign somebody else's name? You've forgotten. Kruger was under court order not to represent any company. Kruger was under court order. We have forgotten that. Therefore, Kruger signed Dunn name. Mr. Dunn, does he exist? All right? I'm going to give you a story. There is a company out of the United States that have been harassing me for the last year. Guess what they have been trying to do? They have been trying to trick me, to steal from me. And I'm having fun. Because I have a lawyer, and I tell the lawyer, and they trying to trick me? The lawyer said, yeah, they trying to trick you. I said, well, give them another proposal. And for 1 year, I watched this American company trying to defraud me. So when I was talking about Peter Kruger, I have personal experience where there's a group of crooks in the United States who is trying to trick me for the last 18 months. And I'm having fun. They remind me of one email I got from Africa where a man told me he was saved and sanctified and he ran out of money. And I quote scripture to him until he leave me alone. That's what's going on here. So the F&M sat there and participated in fraud. You hear what I tell you? This government must go. And I say to Philip Brave Davis, I, Chester Cooper, and Fred Mitchell, do not pussyfoot. The government is disqualified. This is gangsterism. This is fraud. That is what is being perpetrated on our people. And we have to rise up and insist that the F&M go. And they must go back for a mandate. So let's look at some things that Candia has revealed. Zoom-in video footage confirms that it was not, in fact, his own name that Kruger signed. The heads of agreement with the government is for a $5.5 billion oil refinery project in East Grand Bahama. When Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis tabled the agreement in the House of Assembly on Thursday night, some were surprised that Kruger's signature and name were not on the document given that he had signed at the press conference the previous week. The matter of Kruger's involvement became controversial after local media reported that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission filed a civil complaint against Kruger, his father, Shelton, and John Mehdi. Kruger told the media that he settled the claim. It was also revealed that in 2006, he pleaded guilty to the first-degree felony of organized fraud. This is an organized fraudster. So no wonder he could sign other people's name with comfort, with relaxation. And Minnis and them sat right there and didn't realize what was going on. Or did they know? Minnis is an educated man. Minnis is a businessman. So Minnis got education. Jeffrey Lloyd is the Minister of Education. My God. They met. The whole cabinet met and agreed that they will table in the Honorable House of Assembly fraud. Somebody must say it. So on Friday when I said it, I was comfortable that I had the facts. There might be people who are associated with me who might have been afraid. No, this is fraud. This is gangsterism. This man is taking advantage, or is he really taking advantage, of a Negro government. This is enough for me to complain to the President of the United States that a whole white man in America has come to the Bahamas and taking advantage of my incompetent Negro government. What the president name?
Donald Trump.
President Donald Trump, help! A whole white man come from America and is putting tricks on my Negro government. Help! Help, Mr. President! Send the FBI, send the DEA, send the CIA, and rescue us from Peter Kruger. So, Candia continued to report, the court sentenced him to 7 years after he was convicted of organized fraud, to 7 years of probation, during which he may not be associated with or be a broker-dealer or investment advisor, and to join payment with Shelton Kruger, his daddy, of $1,292,129 in restitution and fines, and payment of $7,373 in costs, according to the SEC document. The day after the heads of agreement signing, reporters questioned Kruger about his past. By the next day, Oban's website had been changed and the names of the executive removed. You heard what I tell you? The fraudster changed the website, and Minnis and them continued to defend this man. When Minnis was questioned by reporters 2 days after the signing with Kruger, he gave no indication that the document Kruger signed was not the official heads of agreement, or that Kruger had not even signed his own name on the document. What is this? Instead, according to Candia Dames, the Prime Minister said the former administration did not have any concern about issues involving Kruger and that due diligence had been done. However, privately, some senior F&Ms expressed embarrassment over the matter of Kruger. Over the matter as Kruger, let me read that again. However, privately, some senior F&Ms expressed embarrassment over the matter as Kruger had sat next to the Prime Minister for the signing, and images of the signing were widely circulated. We messed this one up, said one official who asked not to be named. In opposition, Minnis had railed against the Christie administration for doing business with unsavory characters and declared that birds of a feather flock together. When Minnis spoke to reporters on February 21st, he indicated that he knew of Kruger's past, but did not indicate any concerns over it. Kruger has said he is only an ambassador for the company and does not have any ownership in it. While the heads of agreement, the Prime Minister table last Thursday purportedly contains Donna's signature, it is not the same signature signed by Kruger at the press conference. However, the table agreement with Donna's signature is also dated February the 19th, the same date as the press conference during which time Kruger signed the document. One government official indicated that the tabled document is the legitimate document with the president's signature. Listen, the studio hot. Y'all cut on the air condition for me. When asked what Kruger signed at the press conference, the Prime Minister's press secretary, Anthony Newbold, sent the Nassau Guardian a brief response. This is what Anthony says. The heads of agreement table had President Satpal Donna's signature as he is authorized to sign official documents on behalf of the company. Kruger's signing was ceremonial only, Newbold responded. It is not clear at what point on February 19 Donna signed the official agreement, or if, in fact, the official document was backdated. After Kruger signed the document, it was turned over to Cabinet Secretary Camille Johnson for her signature as Minnis, who was sitting between Kruger and Johnson, looked on. After the signing, Minnis and Kruger took photos holding the heads of agreement. It is unclear what became of the document that Kruger signed. My God, this is a national scandal. You mean to tell me Minnis can't read? You mean to tell me the cabinet can't read? You mean to tell me when the cabinet met last week Tuesday, 2 days before they tabled it, they all sat down and agreed to mislead the parliament and the people? We're in trouble. My spiritual advisor, I know you depend on the F&M for your daily bread.
Mr. Monkey, don't do that. Don't.
Are you free to speak truth to
Well, I just want to ask a question, right? Seeing that we have this document in this predicament, does this render this document null and void?
If there is no power of attorney, and I suspect that they'll now create one, all right? If there's no
for
power
Peter
of
Kruger
attorney,
to sign on behalf of Mr. Dunn.
right?
Yeah.
And if Peter is signing, he should sign Peter Kruger for Dunn,
Right.
or it is signed Satpal Dunn by his attorney, by deed of power attorney, Peter Kruger. My God, we can't trust the F&M. I told you that Hubert Ingram watchword was, it's a matter of trust. We can't trust the Prime Minister. We know we can't trust Peter Kruger. We know that we don't know who Dunn is. We know that we can't trust the Minister of Education, because if there's one person who ought to be able to read and know comprehension, it's the Minister of Education. We are in trouble. Man, I thought that the F&M would be incompetent, but I never dreamed it would be as incompetent. They can't read. But we know they can read. So the question is, why did they collectively participate in this fraud? Minnis ain't safe. Minnis, you ain't safe. Jeff Lloyd, he ain't safe. They ain't safe. And therefore, they're not able to save the country. You would recall on Friday that I gave an apology to the brother of the Prime Minister because he sent me a coded message. And I liked the Prime Minister's brother. Every time he called my bluff, I beat him to the draw. And so I give him the apology because I was told that he was very upset that I was about to destroy the deal. He was upset. I said, well, listen, if it's a deal, y'all got to let me know. Say, if something is going to happen that is unsavory, give me advance notice so I don't have to listen to the news. I wouldn't read the newspaper. I wouldn't listen to no news. I would put my head in the sun. But he's upset. He is upset because he's accusing me that I'm about to cause him and the country this good deal. Listen, it's F&M. Huh? And I'm out to make sure that we have good government. and we catch our government. This government must resign. Ministers, it's time for an election. Nobody could read in the FNM. But the country, the white man from the Royal Bank of Canada, who Philip Brave Davis got the people to fire, he did say we wasn't too smart. My God, we are warned that Peter Kruger is a fraudster. And ministers bring him on national TV. And he signed another person name, and they went into denial. Dexter Johnson, I'm losing faith now. I have to curse out your sister Carmel. Carmel, I'm disappointed in you. You went to Government High. Government High students are the smartest students in the country. How you could put your signature there? You have demonstrated that you should not be cabinet secretary. I told the country that the FNM always pull this trick. I told y'all. But y'all say all I doing is bringing up old story. But it's a national disgrace. Oh, I can't take it. Oh, yeah, I can't take it.
It is something to really, it's a big pill to swallow.
Oh, I can't take it.
Mr. Monica.
Oh, Jesus.
So let me ask you a question. Does Mr. Dunn really exist?
I don't know. I don't know if Mr. Dunn exists. The only way I can find out is I may have to go into another trance. Give me some drums.
Boy,
Give me some drums. Hungaya. Hungaya. I'm going to have to go into a trance to find Mr. Dunn.
Yeah, we need to locate him.
Give me the music. Goodness me, Sabats, what happened to the music? I'm going to have to go in to a trance. I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to have to go into a trance to see if Mr. Dunn exists. Where the drums? Where the drums? Oh, where the drums? I need drums, 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 drums. Special advisor, beat something for me. Knock something up for me. Because I need to know what's this. Boy, we in trouble? This is the worst crew to ever take over the country. Cursed be the day when y'all voted for the FNM. Damn fool, y'all thought y'all vote for something better. You didn't. These men are grossly incompetent. They can't read. Come on. If you know that the Prime Minister is politically mediocre, someone is supposed to say, now PM, let me read it first. I always do it. Sometimes I'm mediocre, you know. So I'll call my friend Brother Jax. Jax, check this out. Jax will check it out and he say everything is fine. I say, Jax, you sure it's fine? And if Jax tell me he ain't sure, I say, well, send it to the next friend. As I get consensus, get advice. Where is drum?
Let me ask you, what does ceremonial signing means?
It means the FNM is covering up for the fraud that we catch them. So they won't fool us. Why you ain't bring the Indian man, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, I told you. Bye. I'm going off.
Monica, take it easy now. Take it easy. Mr. Monica, take it easy, man.
Done. Where is done? Hungayaya. Bring me done. Done. Bring me done. March, my government has been exposed. They must resign. This set of Negroes are the worst set that we've ever had. Oh, we're in trouble. It's time to march the FNM out of power. Be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. We are also broadcasting simultaneously on 105.3 FM The Beat. And when we took the adjournment, we were reading Candia Dame's article in the Nassau Guardian exposing that Peter Kruger, without producing a power of attorney, signed Satpat Donor signature, and the whole government knew it. And they think it's funny. We are in trouble. We are in trouble. In today's Punch, Nikki Kelly, that decent white Greek woman, has written between the lines. And she has also raised the issue of fraud. Give me the Punch, my spiritual advisor.
All right, so here we go.
Because I'm gaining national support. So they got a problem here, you know. They don't like me. But they have not been able to contradict nothing that I say. Because we speak truth here on Freedom March. And we will continue to speak truth. And to the extent that we may make a mistake, we will correct it. We're not going to be proud and not do it. So Nikki Kelly, she has now joined the battle line. And she has identified what the problem is. And the Menace government is being discredited every day. Papa! Papa, come back! Come back, Papa! Papa! Papa, you put Menace on us. You put Menace on us, Papa. Now, Menace and them ain't know what they're doing. Any white man could come and say to Menace, I'm Peter Kruger, but I can sign Dunn name. And it done. I mean, just amazing. Find this thing for me. Find me Nikki Kelly article between the lines.
So the question now, Mr. Monk, is when are we going to have the official signing, saying that that signing was just ceremonial? Is there any clue as to when you think this will happen?
Well, don't forget, Menace, by his production of the heads of agreement last Thursday, he has suggested that that signature is the official one. Camille, let me warn you, man. Dexter Johnson can heal medical problems, but he cannot heal emotional problems. You hear me, Camille? You heard what I say, Camille? Camille, you have to resign, man. Come on. You are the secretary to the cabinet. You're not supposed to put your signature to any bogus document. Goodness of mercy. Anybody on the phone? Oh, you find it? Thank you.
The document's not bogus. It's just a signatory.
The document is bogus.
All right.
The document becomes a document when people sign it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
All right.
It's bogus. All right? Nikki Kelly.
Between the lines.
Between the lines. Events surrounding Oban heads of agreement. Signing raises question of fraud. But I told you that on Thursday. On Friday.
Friday.
Huh? Now you all need a white woman to confirm what I'm saying, but I don't mind. You all need a mulatto woman like Candia to confirm what I'm saying?
Let's get the call.
Well, they're doing it. Hello. Welcome to Freedom March. Hello.
Put the call through, Ms. Medusa.
Other than that, I'll have to go into another trance. Hello. Okay, until you get the call, I'll look at Nikki. Here is the article. Nikki Kelly. I always felt that Nikki was a saved woman. I always felt that. Looked at her, I said, you know something? I believe this white woman is saved. So what does Nikki say? Prime Minister Hubert Menace is running scared. And with good reason, having betrayed the trust of the Bahamian people and committed the government to signing a suspect heads of agreement with a group of fraudsters. But I told you all that for days. It's like if nobody will believe me. Listen to me. I have good contact in the country. The people talks to me. People in law enforcement talk to me. God talks to me. I know things. I see things. I hear things. All I do is hear things. Ask my wife. We're eating, and I said, honey, hold on. She said, what's going on? I said, I'm hearing things. She said, now listen, don't you frighten me. I say, you need not be afraid. I am hearing things, and I'm saying things. And I tell her, I see Booger Man. Menace is a Booger Man. Peter Kruger is a Booger Man. Now Nikki is saying things. Now y'all want to listen to her and Candy. I'm more saved than Candy and Nikki together. And I told y'all, I said, listen, can't y'all see this fraud? I smart. I 61. When you're 61 and you live in the society and you know the people there, you could tell what's going on. The United States Authority told Menace and Dawes, Peter Kruger is a fraudster. We are told in advance. But everybody come up with all kind of reasoning, saying if the man repent and he's saved, Peter cannot be saved. Peter is possessed by fraud. Penland won us. In 1983, Penland say, watch out for them nameless fraudster. But the FNM was in cahoots with them. So, Nicky tells us his weak defense has finished for signing the heads of agreement with Urban Industries for construction of a $5.5 billion refinery terminal in East Grand Bahama is that the former government signed a contract with an open-ended termination date. I just can't take it. I really can't take it. What ministers are doing. What kind of desperation. And then Big Mo out of Freeport. When Big Mo came forward, I knew that the case was established. Because they normally send for Big Mo whenever they get catch. And Big Mo mouth is supposed to be big and intimidating. But Big Mo, you old. And I'm catching you up. I am almost old. That's what's going on. You got to get the punch. So you could read what Nicky say. You got to get the Nassau Guardian to see what minister I'm doing. You mean to tell me, Marvin? Marvin, you ain't checked yet? And Marvin should have listened to me. I'm going to tell you a secret. Marvin, I'm sorry, but I have to brag. I always wanted to brag. I helped Marvin solve one of his greatest cases. Because I play investigation. And when I saw Marvin was stumbling, I like Marvin. Because I like his younger brother, Dennis James, who's a great man. And I say, I have to do this for Dennis. And I help Marvin. I show Marvin how to think the crime out logically. And when it was all over, Marvin was able to put on a handcuff. Because I'm the son of a policeman. So from the lines of the police, I have inherited investigatory skills. So watch out for me. I'm involved in everything over the last 40 years. So all I got is information. They can't pull no trick on me. And Nicky has come forward. And she has filed in the punch the evidence. It's fraud. There's no need for the Negro government to commit fraud. What's going on? Philip Brave Davis, it is time to march. Fred Mitchell, it is time to march. I, Chester Cooper, it is time to march. The people of the Bahamas, it's time to get rid of these fellas. And did you expect any better out of Brent Simonet? But if you do, it's because you have short memory. You remember when Brent was Minister of Foreign Affairs? Went to the United Nations, he read the document and signed it. And when he came to NASA and we cursed him out, Brent said, well, I didn't read it. They don't read. They don't read. Don't mind how Brent look. Brent is a Negro. They don't read. These fellas are dumb. And they're selling out our country. That's what's going on here. So we got the evidence right here. It's horrible. It's a horrible, horrible thing that is taking place in the country, that the government is dealing with gangsters, and the gangsters is out-ganging them publicly. It's a bunch of incompetent. Y'all make me feel ashamed as a Negro. I cannot believe that a Gussie May cabinet could house so much dumb men. Y'all are dumb. God forgive me. I ain't trying to be arrogant. My people, I ain't trying to be arrogant. I ain't trying to be mean. But they're dumb. And if they're not dumb, then they are complicit in this. So I want to take complicity out of it and say that they are dumb. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello? Hello? Oh, I'm going off in the trance.
Calls are not coming through.
Y'all better fix the Batstem phone. Hello? Papa? Oh, Papa, we got to meet. I told y'all that Hubert Ingram said it was a matter of trust. Can't trust these fellas. Spiritual advisor, you ain't saying nothing. You ain't covering up for Minister.
No, well, what is to say? I mean, I see.
Don't worry about contract.
I see right here. It says the government of the Bahamas. This is the heads of agreement signature. It's signed by Camille Johnson, and then she prints her name, which is correct. And title would be the Secretary to the Cabinet. And then
put this camera on the spiritual advisor. He's talking.
And then at the bottom here, it has Secretary to the National Economic Council. So she's Secretary of the Cabinet, and then she's Secretary to the National Economic Council. And at the bottom of her signature, there's this heading that says Oban Energies Limited, and it's signed by Peter Krieger, but it has name Sapal Dunner, title President. Well, Mr. Munker, it is what it is. There's nothing I can say about that, Mr. Munker. In this case, you'll have to just let the chips fall into me.
Where you see Peter Kruger name?
No, I didn't say his name.
What you say?
That's the signature.
Just no. Be careful now. Be careful.
See, it says P. Kruger.
That's Kruger?
And there it says...
That says Sepal Dunners.
Where do you see that?
There's a scribbling that say...
What's at the bottom here?
I mean, that's the man's name.
Okay, so Dunner did sign it.
Dunner was not there. He was not.
That's what I'm asking you. So whose signature is this?
All we're saying is Peter's signature.
Yeah.
But but Peter signed Dunham's name.
Oh.
Come on, let's get it right.
Okay, that's what it says here.
It is time for the corruption unit. Paul Roll. I want you to arrest the whole cabinet. Don't beat nobody. And put them on the bench so that they can explain what's going on.
But right at the background here, this signing is your good friend.
Who's that? That's Papa?
No.
Who?
He's my friend too. I can't call his name, but don't call his name. Same right there.
What you mean don't call his name?
Same right there.
My spiritual advisor, I already told you, don't worry about the effort. And when the PLP come to power...
That's my buddy, man. He's right there.
I'm going to ask Philip Brave Davis to give you some juicy contract. And every PLP nubbits. Let's get this clear. When you all come to power, I want the spiritual advisor to be given some juicy contract so he could be man now. This fella's Marvin Day. Why you?
What wrong with you, man?
What you coming up for Marvin for? I blame Marvin. Marvin was supposed...
Marvin probably never saw it.
My spiritual advisor.
He probably didn't see it.
Marvin know who Minnis was dealing with. He was supposed to show Minnis how he's a good agent.
Yeah, Marvin should have picked with this guy a long time.
In the DNA. Yeah. Who you think told Brown who the crooks were?
Yeah, he's supposed to pick with this guy a long time.
The first report I gave to Brown was the report on me. showing I was not a crook. And then after that, me and the police worked together. And every time Brian grab a man, I ask the police, is that man safe? The police tell me, tell Brian quietly, the man is not safe. Boy, we in trouble, eh? It's time to march.
Yeah, let's read some text and see what the people say.
Yeah, it's time to march. We got to take them on with marital rape. We have to take them on with Peter Kruger. And the people of Grand Bahama, I'm so sorry for y'all. Look at the nonsense, eh? Minister got a whole white man to sign an Indian man name. It's terrible. Find something, because I need to talk about Bahama for a few seconds. Albany is still on my mind, but I ain't sit down with Mr. Ingram yet. But to Bahama, you have a man who works on Gladstone Road. He's not kind to the Bahamian people. And I want him to change his wicked ways. You all hear what I tell you all? Because he's not kind.
I got a text here.
Just hold that text for a second, my spiritual advisor.
No
because this man is not kind. Let me see if I can find him. Let me give Bahama. You say I'm a justice of the peace. And in the district of New Providence, the Negro citizens are coming before me. And they're telling me things. And I want you all to know that I know Dion folks personally. Dion is the Minister of Labor. And Dion is going to have to accept my words over Bahama, or I finish with him. You hear me? Now this man, his name is Lenny Beck. Lenny Beck, according to the Negro people, is very unkind. He's saying disparaging things. I want you to have a meeting with Lenny Beck and tell Lenny Beck not to continue with that. If he continues, I'm going to have to ask the government to revoke his work permit and declare him persona non grata. Lenny Beck, you work on Gladstone Road. The reports that we are receiving, you should not do that. Please, Lenny Beck, don't do that. Okay? If you do not stop, Lenny Beck, we are going to have to expose you and ask the government to revoke your work permit. Okay? That is as much as I want to say for the day. But over the weekend, I work at Bahama. I can't understand that. The tourists, them are talking highly about Bahama. There's still one or two little things. When it comes to dinner, Bahama don't seem to have the dinner act together. Oh, but the American tourists, they have high praise. See, I try to be honest and fair. And I questioned the American tourists. They told me some things that I have not said yet. Because I hope one day to run into Sandy and say to Sandy, Sandy, these are a couple of important points that you need to straighten out. But by and large, Bahama has a good reputation. And plenty tourists them is coming to Bahama. See, I need Bahama to work. Though I curse you all out. I put my curse on the side for the time being, but I want you all to work. Because I know that the F&M don't mean y'all any good. And since the PLP has worked hard to make y'all a success, I've decided that I'm going to help the PLP out. But y'all gonna have to treat the taxi drivers justly. You heard what I'm saying? And that man who is in charge of the laundry, tell him to stop using racial disparaging remarks. Because we are currently on Gladstone Road. And we don't want any social unrest. My spiritual advisor, read text.
All right, there you go. Mr. Monka, good afternoon to you. The Bahamas government does not sign demo documents. All documents from the Cabinet Office are authentic legal documents because that is the official office where such activities take place. That's one text. Good afternoon, Mr. Monka. Could you keep up the good work? You are doing an exemplary job, and the FNM is sinking this country. God is with you and will not leave you. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Good afternoon, Mr. Monka. Do you think that we got swung this time? Mr. Monka, Mr. Butler was right when he... okay.
Well, as you contemplate, I'm receiving reports from jitneys all over the island of New Providence. And the first jitney that I'm in contact with is Mr. International, Dion Delancey. Currently, he's heading into Elizabeth Estate, if my geography is correct. And his bus is loaded with the Negro people. I send salutation to the Negro people. And then, of course, his son, Gabriel Delancey, is watching me. Gabriel's birthday is Friday. Gabriel, I'm saying happy birthday to you too quickly. Can't you wait until Friday? But in the meantime, happy birthday, Gabriel.
Good day, gentlemen. Waiting on Albany, Mr. Monka. Did you deal with Albany as yet?
Oh, no, I've not. I have to talk to Hubert Ingram first.
Okay.
Before I can talk about Albany.
Mr. Monka, I think the government is trying hard to find jobs, and they're forgetting to do their due diligence. They're forgetting to dot their I's and cross their T's. Can we look for Bahamian investors, Mr. Monka? Good afternoon, Mr. Monka. When are we marching against the government?
I shall be calling marches quickly because they won't put rape on marriage. And I need to find Brother Carlos Reed. Anybody got Carlos Reed number? I need Carlos Reed number because Carlos is doing a wonderful educational program with young men. And I got to talk to Carlos and ask him if he could come on the show. Because we have to strengthen our young men and discipline them. Because there's a feminist movement in the country that is trying to brutalize man by putting marital rape on us, and I'm resisting them. So we're going to have one big wrestle, and I call on the woman them to submit and support your leader. That's me. As we protect the men against this bogus charge. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Mr. Monka, the Prime Minister said that his mother taught him that birds of a feather flock together. It's no wonder why Peter Kruger felt so comfortable committing forgery in front of the entire cabinet. That speaks volumes of this administration. The flocks are coming together for the winter. Back aside, Tugin Bobo, the doc of corruption has changed his diet from fish
To Kruger.
to oil.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's go. Let's finish.
More tax, my spiritual advisor.
Mr. Monka, I think our nation's in trouble and God needs to heal his land. The FNM government kind of fooled the Bahamian people during the May 10 election. Now they're trying to fool them again. I'm so glad I'm a PLP. I never was looking for them to do no better than put food on my table. Thank God I'm saved during the PLP turn in power. The Bahamas is in trouble, Mr. Monka. The FNM administration is doing a terrible job. Mr. Monka, you seem to be looking out so much for the Haitians. Are you a Bahamian? Let's leave that. Mr. Monka, you need to allow your co-host to express his views without your constant interruptions. Not only your head has a brain inside of it. Not only your head has a brain. Gentlemen, illegitimacy has no legal rights. Gentlemen, illegality has no legal rights. Bahamians are fed up. Mr. Monka, is this forgery in plain sight, Mr. Monka? Kruger signing Sapal Dunner as the PM looks on. Wow. Let's see, what else do we have here? Let's go back to the top, Mr. Monka. Mr. Monka, you told us last week that Sir David Knowles had the contract for the sand. Please explain where he used to get that sand from and which government gave him the contract. I did remember you saying that. You're not going to comment on that, eh?
Read text, my spiritual advisor.
Blessings, Mr. Monka. Is marriage and family finally at a peak because of this marital rape situation? Mr. Monka, Freddy Krueger is signing Sapal's name.
Listen! We are wrestling with spiritual powers and political wickedness. The F&M government is exposed. It's fraud. Don't believe me. I'm only calling it by its name. This is Freedom March. Papa is back in the country. I'll be right back.
Do you have something to say to the Senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. So that I will not be accused of taking advantage of you, do you have any defense for the government in this scandalous matter?
There is actually no defense, Mr. Monker. Rather, there are just a bunch of questions that, has to be answered. The executive for Oban Energies, Mr. Dunner, where is he? Why wasn't he at the signing to sign the document? Why hasn't he ever been presented so far?
Ministers are suggesting he was there. Perhaps he works voodoo. Maybe his spirit was in Mr. Kruger.
Yeah.
And,
I
don't know.
The bigger question is, why is this non-executive chairman, Mr. Peter Kruger, in the forefront of this whole deal? He has nothing to do with the company. He stated that. But I understand that on February the 15th, he filed some documents in the courts claiming that he did have some sort of a connection with Oban Energies. And then he comes and signed this heads of agreement February the 19th. Some mix-up story. Well, anyhow, Mr. Mike, it's just that from the onset, this whole thing is just becoming, it's a lot of questions.
Look.
Unanswered questions.
Mr. Kruger is an international fraudster. And he saw these group of Negroes, he looked at them, and he said, this is the easiest set of people to trick.
We need to see Mr. Dunner.
We need to see Carl Bettel. Carl, how you could allow this fraud to take place, Carl? We send you to England. You went where the white people are. You were English trained, Carl. How you allow this? Come, Carl, minister ain't listening. How you allow this, Carl? Goodness of mercy, the government needs a JP. Carl, you are the general of the attorneys. And you allow this to happen? Man, you should hang your head in shame. Huh? You mean to tell me you couldn't tell minister this was foolishness? Oh, Carl, I'm so disappointed in you. I'm so disappointed in you. 31 years ago, when I had you in the back of the bush, I had great expectation. Anyway, it's nothing to you. Well, the Guardian has another exciting story. We have a local Conky Joe woman who's come forward. Her name is Kasarina McKinney Lambert. And Royston, no, the story is written by Sloan Smith. It goes like this. The environmental impact assessment clause contained in a heads of agreement the government signed with Oban Energies for an oil refinery project in Grand Bahama makes no sense, said Executive Director of the Bahamas Reef Environment Educational Foundation, BREEF, Kasarina McKinney Lambert. I just love her name, Kasarina. Name after a whole tree. Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis tabled the heads of agreement in Parliament on Thursday night. According to the heads of agreement, the government shall not have the right to terminate these heads of agreement based upon any EIA report but instead shall work with the developer to mitigate any concerns. In a statement to the Nassau Guardian on Saturday, McKinney Lambert said, Brief continues to be very concerned about the potential environmental impacts of an oil refinery on Grand Bahama. In particular, the statement that the Bahamas government has relinquished its ability to terminate the heads of agreement with Oban Energies because of what environmental impact assessments may conclude about the safety of the project makes no sense at all. Let me stop. Menace, this is the Conky Joe saying it now. In your constituency, the vast majority of the people are Conky Joe voters. So perhaps you will listen to them. You're not going to listen to the Negroes. You don't have any respect for us. So this is a whole Conky Joe woman. And she say, what you have done make no sense. Make no sense. Menace, if you're not going to listen to the Negroes, will you please listen to the Conky Joe people? Because that is the basis upon which the F&M gets its financing. All the Negroes do is vote. But it's the Conky Joe who has to pay for the election. Are you going to listen to her? This is a huge mistake, and it puts the lives and livelihoods of Bahamians at risk. This seems to be totally at odds with the country's supposed commitment to renewable energy that the Bahamas has made as a small island developing state. It also seems to be asking the Bahamas to become a dumping ground for American polluting industries that are no longer welcome on American soil because of the degradation they cause. McKinley Lambert pointed to the cases of Hovensa, a failed oil refinery in St. Croix, noting similar possible consequences of the oil refinery to be built in Grand Bahama. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, as a result of relatively slow leaks from process and storage areas, as well as from the underground early water sewer system, extensive phase separated, let me read that again. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, as a result of relatively slow leaks from process and storage areas, as well as from the underground early water sewer system, extensive phase separated petroleum hydrocarbon plumes, also known as oil, were found present floating on top of the groundwater underlying the Hovensa facility, and dissolved phase hydrocarbon constituents, plumes, were found present within the groundwater itself. So oil settled on top of the water. The facility was closed in 2012 and remains a highly contaminated site. Kasarina McKinney Lambert also noted there is no environmental protective agency with regulations in the Bahamas. When the Menace administration signed what appeared to be the heads of agreement on February 19 with Oban non-executive chairman Peter Kruger, there were concerns that an EIA had not yet been completed. At the time, Kruger said the EIA will be completed in 45 days. According to the official heads of agreement signed by Oban president, nobody knows when he signed it, Satpal Dana, once Oban has completed the EIA, the government, upon receipt of it, has 60 days to offer feedback. If, as a result of the government's review of an EIA, the government determines that the relevant portion of the development as proposed to be constructed cannot be implemented in an environmentally safe and sustainable manner, then the government shall propose that the developer take additional specific precautions and or make specific modifications to the proposed development in order to address the government's specific concerns, the agreement said. So what we are saying here now is that the Conkey Joe people are now issuing statement. This woman, Casarina, oh I love her name, McKinney Lambert, she said it's nonsense. Minister, I know you ain't gonna listen to us Negroes. Would you please listen to the Conkey Joe Bahamian? Because she has the interest of the whole country. Please don't listen to Big Mo. You know, Big Mo was never that bright, you know.
Jesus Lord.
Big Mo was never that bright. You heard me? Had it not been for Hubert Ingrot, Big Mo would have been in the back of the bushes of Grand Bahama. But Papa raised him up. Don't listen to Big Mo. Listen to the Conkey Joe woman. Freeport is poison enough, Minister. Minister is a crook. Minister, come back. Come back, Prime Minister. It's crookedness. Ah, boy. My spiritual advisor, I only wish.
Yeah.
Can you pray for the government?
Of course I can pray for the
government. Can you ask God to give ministers them sense? Lord, give the Prime Minister sense. Oh, we're in trouble.
You want us to read the rest of these texts?
Read text, my spiritual advisor. I can't take it.
Good afternoon to all. This is one of the worst political parties we've ever had in the history of the Bahamas. And one of the first prime ministers we've had that wasn't a lawyer. That's why I don't think he understands governance. So when are we going to feed these hungry people in Freeport? Let's see here. Today. Good afternoon, Mr. Monica, spiritual advisor. Mr. Monica, please stop telling people you're an F&M. How can you be an F&M when you're always pulling them down?
I'm not pulling them down.
You never have anything nice to say about them. And furthermore, you went on the beach when it was your time to vote. Yeah. Why didn't you and Papa and your good colleague, Loretta Butler Turner, form your own party since you all so like to talk
Goodness
to Papa?
me! Loretta, I forgot I was supposed to join you for dinner. Goodness me. Look, I apologize. Could you cook dinner tomorrow night? And I'll join you and Mr. Turner. I forgot. Ah, boy. Loretta, I'm not ungrateful. I cook little dinner again, and I'll show up tomorrow night. Go ahead.
Hang on a second, Mr. Monka. Okay, here we go.
Got more text?
Mr. Monka, the Haitian women will submit. So when the Bahamian women don't want to have friendliness, we will have to bring in wives from Haiti. They are already willing to submit. Listen, let's try them and see if they'll put marital rape on us after we hook up with the Haitian women.
Listen, we are going to fight this. I'm not going to allow Carl Battle to get in my bedroom. Me and the woman can lock down. We're going to fight them. We're going to fight the feminists. We are not going to allow them to put rape on us because the woman belongs to us. It's my woman. And if the woman ain't mine, you tell me who woman it is. I ain't listening to Carl and them. All right? Go ahead.
Mr. Monka, we knew that the F&M would implode, but we didn't think it was going to happen so soon. It's just 9 months into this. But we blame you, Rodney Monka, because it is your party. And you often brag about it.
Look, the F&M term, it's 9 months. It looks like it's an abortion. I'm suspicious. All right? After how many months, you shouldn't terminate the baby. But this baby is heading to be aborted. Go ahead, my spiritual.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. Can you send a happy birthday out to Lisa Darlin? She's one of the women from Freeport, Grand Bahama. Lisa Darlin, yes.
I love your surname. You're one of the women them. I need you to organize. You get all the women them in Grand Bahama to resist gender equality. You're a good woman.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. I would like for you to send a shout out to my Grammy. Her name is Dolores Davis. It's coming in from a grandson.
Dolores Davis, I know your name. You are one of the women them. I thank you and do well.
Mr. Monica, this is a fraudulent sign and which renders the document the same it's invalid in my view, unless the Indian man gave Krieger a power of attorney to sign all those documents.
There is no
on
evidence.
his behalf.
They may backdate a power of attorney, but I'm not accepting any power of attorney. And I'm calling in the FBI, calling the FBI, the DEA, the CIA, and Assistant Commissioner of Police Paul Roll. Paul, this looks like corruption. All right? Let us see how fair you are. Start arresting cabinet ministers.
Good afternoon, Mr. Munker. The Parcel Post Department at the main post office building was closed today because it flooded out.
Again? Goodness of mercy. Go ahead.
Let's see here.
Did I talk about the fire?
Mr.
in the mud?
Munker, you say you're a Haitian, so that means Dame Joan and the rest of your family is now Haitians. You better stop. You frying pan F&M. I shouldn't have read that.
Oh, read it. Let the people express themselves.
Okay. Go ahead. I think that's it.
It?
Did you talk about the fire in the mud, though?
I don't remember. All I know is Papa was upset. I mean, I sit down good at his table. Papa started talking about the fire. I was so happy because I can bring message to my people in the mud. Papa sad. Papa pas content. Papa mande pour connaître qui est mon responsable pour des faits. Papa! But Papa welcome. Papa Palvini. No mud. Papa, you have to go down to the mud and check out the people. The last time there was disaster, Papa carried $10,000. Papa, you got to carry a money bag again. $10,000. The Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram took down. And that was Papa money.
We get some more text.
More text.
All right, good afternoon, gentlemen. This is going to be a long journey moving forward. What will the administration tell the Bahamian people after all of this, Mr. Monica? There's a lot of evidence on them. Well, we can all see some people going to jail for through this time. Same as if the stone that they threw will hit them harder. Be careful what you do.
Well, Brave Davis warned minister, you know. Philip Brave Davis said to the Prime Minister, the leader of the opposition in this country, Philip Brave Davis said to the Prime Minister of this country, when you dig ditches, go ahead.
Dig two.
How much?
Two.
Ministers only dig one. And by grab, a whole cabinet fall right in. Carl Beddoes, the Attorney General, he was supposed to say, Prime Minister, this fraud. Prime Minister, this fraud. Then he was supposed to look at Dr. Dexter Johnson's sister, Camille. Camille, I'm disappointed in you, and I want to entice you out. Because Dr. Dexter Johnson is my friend, and I know he loves you. I don't know what has gone wrong. I really don't know what's gone wrong. I mean, this is incompetence galore.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. I am one of the young people that I'm studying in Orlando in the United States of America, and I want to say that I stand with you. My name is JP.
JP, I thank you. I thank you for standing with me, and whatever intellectual support you can provide me from the United States, I do need it. Go ahead. Any more text, my spiritual advisor? Read text. I don't want to be accused of not reading text.
Here we go. Mr. Monica, could you ask NIB how could they stop paying claims for some persons with disabilities and not inform the public?
It's wicked. I would hope that Brensel Roll is not responsible because Papa is here and I may have to complain. Brensel, look out for the poor people, man. Okay? You approve $100 million to pay off bad loans when that $100 million could have been used to help to pay the people them national insurance. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. I see corruption all over this government, so who will go to jail now?
Well, you know, we're in charge of the country, so we're not going to jail ourselves. We're going to have to wait for Philip Brave Davis and the PLP to come to power and then start jailing us F&Ms. Go ahead.
Good afternoon to Mr. Monica. One of the women from Freeport just saying hello to you.
Listen, you could see how hard I'm fighting for the woman them and the people of Grand Bahama. I have exposed the fraud. And Candia is one wonderful lady. She's gone there and she's finding the evidence. Got to watch out for me, you know. I'm a justice of the peace with contact. The immigration told me, Monica don't mind what they say. Donna ain't been to the Bahamas. Bunch of tricksters. Goodness me. I mean, it's so comical. This white man come to the Bahamas and just make a joke of you ignorant Negroes. Same way the white woman came from Switzerland and said, we raping our wife. Can you imagine that? They're putting rape on me. An old man like me, they say I rape him. I mean, it's horrible. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Mr. Monica, it is alleged that in Freeport, the canal property in Lucaya on the strip next to the hotels was sold.
Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
No, I can't read that.
It's scandalous?
Yeah, I
okay.
can't read that one.
The spiritual advisor thinks that it's scandalous. Go ahead, next.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Next.
There we go. Remember what they say, when you dig a hole for one, you dig it for two. Remember, it's just like walking backwards in your mind.
I mean, the FNM is incompetent. My God. All Minis has to do is to take the contract to Papa. Papa could read good. All right? You take it to Papa, say, now, Papa, look over this. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Papa immediately would say, now, Minis, this here's fraud. Minis, you see Kruger? He's a fraudster. And Minis them all sat down right there, and that white man pulled that big trick on y'all. Boy, y'all, something, eh? Come on, you got to read. I was once in the Senate, you know. And the then Attorney General and leader of the PLP government business in the House of Assembly was Alison Maynard. And she springs some documents. And I show her something. I stayed up all night. And I read it. And then when I got to the Senate, and I started to doze, they wanted to know why I was dozing. And I said, I had to doze. The woman gave me this hours ago and said we could debate it in the morning. And I read the whole thing. Read the whole thing. All right? Come on. You forget what Mrs. Dane, the former director of education, what's the name of the former director of education?
Is that Zelma Dane?
Zelma Dane. My God. Zelma Dane said, read. Bahamas, read. She said it. And we thought she meant the ordinary citizens. No, she mean y'all dumb cabinet ministers. Y'all are nothing but a bunch of national disgrace. Huh? Sat right there. And a man write a bogus name, and y'all have the secretary to the cabinet to sign it. I can't wait to see Dexter. I can't.
Mr. Monica, it's been 10 months now, and the FNM has been in power. Why haven't they commissioned the new fire station that the PLP built and completed just prior to the general elections? It's been sitting there now for almost a year, Mr. Monica.
Where?
I'm hearing that the FNM doesn't have the money to finish the complex. How long is it supposed to? It doesn't say.
Send me another text and tell me where the gas station, the fire engine is.
Fire station, it doesn't say.
All right.
Where this fire station is. Mr. Monica, can you send a happy birthday request to Lisa Darling, Freeport Grand Bahama?
Lisa Darling.
Oh, sorry.
Happy birthday to you.
Well, actually, it's not until the 6th of this month. They just sent another text.
Okay.
Do you guys know that the best beaches in Grand Bahama are found in the caves?
Really?
Example, what's something, Rock Beach?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know that either.
Any more texts?
Ministers keeping up with Trump. White House every other day. Bombshells dropping them.
Y'all stop that. Menace, Trump is a better president than what Menace is prime minister.
Yeah, don't do that, Mr. Monica.
All right? Y'all stop doing that. Trump is a good man.
Yes, fire station in Freeport, they say.
Okay, well, you know, the FNM don't want to do that because fire is their slogan.
Mr. Montcalm, I hear you running on with Menace on this deal. Don't you think the PLP advisors who
go ahead, read it.
Menace left on this case of the same people?
No.
Something like that.
Camille Johnson is not a PLP. Carl Bettel is not a PLP. And the Minister of Education, he's not a PLP. All that you are seeing here is incompetency on the march. That's all it is. And they thought that we are dumb, but we're not. Candy is smart. What other man named at the Guardian? They're smart people. They're well educated. They got internet. They can do research. And then I'm here to coach them on. Because all I got is information. All I got. All I have to do is tell the civil servants that I love Papa. Once I say I love Papa, they give me all the government business. Immigration, I thank you all. Okay? And anything any civil servant know that the government is doing that is contrary to the law, you tell me. All right? And I'll come here on Freedom March and wheel up their backside. So that's what's going on. And I thank all the media for the fine job that we are all doing in exposing F&M corruption. This group will go down in history as the worst government that we have ever seen in the modern Bahamas. Lord, I bring Dr. Minnis and the government before you. Have mercy upon them, dear Lord. Lead them away from the path of corruption and give them sense and wisdom and knowledge. And Lord, have mercy on the Bahamian people. We've made a mistake. They vote F&M. Take it care. I'll see you tomorrow.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.